Hey guys, I'm Dalton, this is Solly. Today we're doing our second pros and cons video. If you want to watch the first ones first, we'll put it in the link down right here. But anyways, so pretty much we're going to talk about our pros and cons from our last video. Discuss, how it actually did affect us, if it was actually a negative, if it was a positive and we thought it was going to be a negative, or if it didn't even matter, we didn't even notice it. Yeah, so. Anyway, so we'll talk about those first, and then after that we'll talk about our new pros and cons of after we're here, how we feel about a couple of different things. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to go first with cons?
Okay. So on our old cons, the first thing we had that was a con, number one, we'll be away from our family. So that definitely affected us.
I think that affected me more than you.
Yeah.
It's been extremely hard. That's almost that, because it's been hard, but I've gotten used to it. I've gotten, actually, the 3 months after I got here, it was really, really hard. I had to get through culture shock and all of the separation issues that I had, and then after that, I got kind of like more okay with living here, and then now after a month or so, I'm getting to like the rhythm of nothing like hearing someone speak in German or something that I don't normally would hear in the States. It's kind of coming normal. It's natural. It's just what I'm used to now. So, other than that,
Yeah, not being around family.
It's It's been okay.
Yeah, not being around family, I'm kind of used to it, especially living in many different places away from them. It's hard on me, but at the same time, it has affected me. Kind of think about the fact that I'm halfway around the world away from them. It's not just like it's a couple-hour drive away or something like that. So, all right, number two, no Targets or Walmart.
Ooh. Well, I've kind of gotten used to the fact that I don't get to go to Walmart or Target or any of the stores I'm so used to going to, but we actually looked online that they used to have a Walmart here. Not here where we live, but you can explain that.
Yeah, so there used to be 3 different Walmarts that are permanently closed that used to be in Germany. I guess Germans don't like the idea of
Working.
of 24-hour services.
24 hours, yeah. Working
Yeah.
24 hours.
I've heard the saying that Germans work to live, not live to work. So that makes absolute sense. But how it affected us, not really too bad.
Yeah, it's
Holly's adjusted to not asking me to go at 10 o'clock at night to Walmart or anything. But other than that.
just wait till you work in the States though.
So number 3, taxes. So since we are living here but we're United States citizens, there's a thing called a value-added tax form that we can file, and it pretty much eliminates the German taxes that are included. It's not really worth it because you have to pay for the form if it's under like $30 or $40, but anything over that, you have to pay for the form, and then it you get refunded the taxes out of it after you purchase the item or items. So that hasn't really affected us too much. So not as much of a con as we really thought it would be. And most of the prices are what you would expect to pay in the States typically. So all right, you want to read that one?
Public nudity.
So you thought that you would have a really big problem with this one.
Well, the reason why is because when we looked up things and we heard things, and it legitimately scared me and everything. And so yes, most places, they tell you a certain time, and of course it's during the winter. We're not going to see anything, hopefully. Like, no one's like that because it's going to be really cold. But usually people that do activities that involve nudity usually have certain areas that they go, or like functions or whatever, that has times of the day that they are allowed to do nudity stuff.
For instance, like the nude pool.
Yeah, like that I would never go.
It only happens at certain times in a certain location. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So that you worried about that?
Yeah, because we Google too much, and if you're going to a country, or, Europe or whatever, do not look like Google so much because it's gonna like legitly make you think all that's true and it's just gonna make you think so much crap. Just don't do it. Just
Everything's on the internet true, huh?
not everything on the internet is true, but
Yeah.
they make it worse than it sounds.
Yeah.
That's better to say.
Yeah.
So
And also forums help too if you're legitimately concerned about something. Forums and asking other people that have been there is definitely the way to go instead of just assuming what you hear on the internet is true. So number 5, no closets. So I know you're worried about this. I was a little worried about this.
I was worried about too. So
we're
I wasn't
getting
gonna
ready
buy a
for
house. So I'll call it.
So the thing that they do here, they don't have closets, as we explained in the other video. They tax by the rooms in the house, and that's considered another room if it's actual like walk-in closet. However, they do have little holes in the wall where you can put a closet in there, or build it into
It's
the
like
wall.
a cupboard.
And it's like a cupboard where you can hang up some hangers and stuff. You have some shelves or whatever, however they design it. Or there's also like IKEA or many other different German stores that sell like closets that you can build or that they'll build.
You can fit into a certain small area in your room. And
pretty much.
stuff like that.
And then there's always the option that we didn't go with of trunk.
I could blankets and stuff like
that's,
that. Then
that's
yes,
fine, but
not my clothes.
yeah. So that's our 5 cons that we went over in the other video, and that's our feedback on what we think of those 5 pros.
Okay. Okay, so this is the one we just recently got to experience was Christmas. We did do a video, or we did record while we went to the Christmas market here in our local town where we live in. So I think it was not. I thought I expected more, but on top of that, where we live, it's a smaller area, so it wasn't like extravagant as what we looked online because. Yeah. So I was pretty happy with what we got to experience and everything. It was different, it was crowded, and they had no hot chocolate. Okay. Your opinion.
Christmas was fun. Which next year we can go to a bigger town or area. I really heard that Munich's is really nice and really big. Of course, with Landon and Holly being pregnant as well, it makes it a lot harder
It made
to
a big difference.
go into a bigger area or something like that. So something small was good for us. I think it was perfect size. At the same time, we expected a little bit different, but it was a lot of fun. I think.
Yeah,
I think we enjoyed it.
Yeah, especially when like they had little activities for the kids to do and everything. So when Lennon gets, maybe next year he'll be older and he'll be able to be more independent and want to do things like that and everything. And hopefully next time we can get hot chocolate. The next one was new food we got to try, and on top of that, shopping. The difference between shopping here in the States, I think for me, because I'm so used to hearing people speaking English and everything back at home, and I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to say, hey, this, and let's go. But with, here, I was very, very hesitant. We went shopping, we went to the mall. Mm-hmm. And I was overwhelmed, not just because the escalator was different, everything was different. Like the baskets, they don't go straight, they go everywhere, anywhere, that anything. It's just different, and I had to legitly prepare myself before, and I did freak out. I did. I got kind of overwhelmed.
The baskets, just so y'all are aware, the baskets here in Europe and Germany, the front ones in the States, free swivel, so they can go whichever way you turn them, and the ones in the backs are fixed, so that it just goes straight, so you can turn or whatever. The ones in Europe, the back ones,
well, in Germany, I don't know.
In Europe for the most part, are swivel just like the front, so all the 4 wheels swivel in whichever direction.
So you can make it go to side,
backwards, forwards,
spin it. You can get in it and ride it.
And then the baskets at many of the stores, they have two little grooves that spoke out from the wheel that it rolls on, so that whenever you go onto the escalator, it's a flat escalator instead of like steps, and they hook into the little grooves in the escalator, and you can roll it forward, but you can't really move it. It won't roll backwards on you or anything.
I was scared of that thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall back, because it was legitimately going up. And I was like, what? And so I had legitimately glue on him and the basket, and it freaked me out. So
you got worried.
I was. It was a very stressful day.
I think
So-
the language barrier bothered you too whenever we're shopping a lot.
Yeah, just because I felt like they knew I was not from Germany. I felt like they knew.
Like you stuck out like a sore thumb.
I think so because I was wearing cowgirl boots and everything. And it
Made in
just,
the USA shirt.
and it's just, I don't mean to stick out. Like I really don't care because you know we do all we're all you know we visit and learning new things and we go travel and everything. Well, it's part of the experience. The next thing we have though is trying new food. What new food have we tried? That's
So-
like not American,
Uh,
not fried chicken.
They have a lot of Asian food. They're crazy for Asian food, and they're crazy for donors, which
I've
is
not got to try one yet.
Turkish or Greek. You pick. The Turkish made them, but the Greeks stole it, and then they fed it.
Don't insult someone. He didn't mean that. I don't want to.
A donor is like well, they have doner kebabs and they have a doner wrap, which is like a gyro. For many on the States, you'll know what a gyro is, so it's similar to that.
Okay. Well, for me, it's been fun because knowing that back in the States is a little different. How they prepare their food and stuff. From in here, it's just always something different. And I always feel like it's more fresh. Nothing against living in the U.S. and the other restaurants because I bet most of the actual restaurants, not like the fast food or anything, but they actually cook it like real food, like fresh. But it seems more fresher here, and I don't know how that makes any sense, but it feels like it is.
Well, a lot of things are made from scratch and made fresh, like the bakeries.
Like everything seems more like okay, kind of like more like I don't know how to describe it. I'm sorry.
Not a lot of processed
Yeah.
foods and stuff either.
So no Dr Pepper. Anyway,
There was that one store that has a Dr. Pepper right down the road.
history and culture. We haven't really got to experience that yet
A little bit, not a whole lot.
because I haven't got to do really much.
Here soon we're going to be doing a video going to the castle. We're still deciding on which castle we're going to go to, but we should be doing that video here shortly after we post this video. It'll be a lot of fun.
We'll be doing the Christmas market. So hopefully you've already got to see the Christmas market when you watch when you're watching this. So, but is that it with that one? Okay. And beer and wine. I have not been able to drink wine, so honey, beer.
That stinks too because I got to take a trip to Spain and I bought her a bottle of wine from Spain.
It's in my cupboard.
She can't drink it. She hates me. And a bottle of vodka from Poland.
It's not fair. We're pretty not like we don't drink a lot. It's not like I'm dying without it, but it's like that you take a break and you can just drink a nice couple of wine and just anything. And it's like when you're pregnant, it's like no, you can't. And I have nothing against that. I'm fine. I'm okay with going without it. But yeah.
So the beer, whenever I first showed up here, it was awesome, and it still is good. I'm not gonna lie. German beer is pretty great. However, due to their laws on beer and what they're allowed to put in the beer to make the beer, they don't have a whole lot of variety of beers. I mean, there's a handful of different brands and stuff that are really popular, and you have different home breweries or local breweries and stuff, and they have a lot of a relatively good selection of beers. But
Finish real fast and I'll say something.
okay, but once you try the majority of the selection of beer, there's not a whole lot of selections and stuff. It's good. It's really good, and it's a lot better than the States. All of that tap water with the hops in it. But I've tried quite a few other beers too, like from Belgium or the Netherlands, and there's a lot of Belgian beers that have surprised me that I really like too. So if you do come to Germany or something like that, or you're in Europe, try German beer definitely, but also try from different countries as well. Don't just limit yourself to German beer if you're in Germany or wherever.
Go for it. Because I can't. The other thing I was about wine is because remember we went to Coughlin's, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And we were actually looking for sweet wine, and y'all did not have any sweet wine.
We were having a hard time finding sweet wine.
Y'all had sweet wine, I just couldn't find it.
She was looking for like a white sweet wine.
Like,
and,
I
and
like
most of the wines are dry or a dry sweet red wine or something like that.
See, I can't drink that.
The dry wines and stuff like that. So they have a lot of selections of wines, but most of them are dry wines or red wines or something like that too. So
You never know. Maybe after I having done this, having little bundle here, I might try to branch out to some drier wines or however you say it. Okay, the next one we have is traveling. Like I said, we haven't really got to travel because I am also pregnant and we do have a toddler and he's been going like crazy for his job and traveling and stuff. So he got to
not
travel.
to mention,
Why don't you talk about travel?
not to mention the fact that we were waiting on a shipment for a very long time for us to
Yeah.
receive, so we didn't have a lot of stuff like the stroller. We didn't have that, which makes it a lot easier with the toddler. He can walk on his own now. He's getting so much better at walking on his own, and being a big boy. But having that toddler or the stroller makes a big difference. So that's one reason why we haven't traveled as much as we could and have wanted to. But we, like I said, we plan on traveling to a couple different places here soon, and we'll be able to show you all those videos of our experience and what all we got to see.
Yeah.
So we'll tell you all more about that later.
So.
All right, so that is our pros and cons from the last video and how we felt about those. Now, here are our next, 6 of each?
I think.
Our next 6
6 or 7.
cons and our 6